everybody, welcome! A year has passed, 2015 is gone, and well, first of all, best wishes to all of you. I hope you have a great 2016. And well, most of the time, a new year means we just look back at the past for a short while before we go ahead and live our life in the next year. So, as I did last year, I'm going to do my top games of all time. Now this year I will be doing top 50. Last year I did a top 21, but this year of course I played lots more games, and well, I made a list and I decided that 50 was a nice number to do with some interesting titles in it. So that's what I'm going to do now. Now, beware, this is a top 50 of me. So this is my top 50 at this moment. So these are my favorite 50 games. I own most of them. I think only there are only 3 of them I don't own. So that's okay. So could be next year, if I play all the same games and no new ones, it could be completely different still. But this year there has been a lot of changes as well, so I will not delay this any longer, and we will start with my number 50 to 41 in this video, and my number 50 is the first one. Let's see. My number 50 is La Isla, a game of by Stefan Feld. And last year it was, let me see, it was number 32, so it dropped 18 places. And I know what you're thinking, hey, didn't you say you did a top 21 last year? So how can it drop from number 32? Well, I made a larger list, but I only recorded a top 21. So this dropped some. Why? Well, mostly because I haven't played it a lot. Because my girlfriend isn't too fond of it, but we played it in our game club recently, and well, it's still a great game. I really like it. It's one of the most light games Stefan Feld ever made, I think. And in this game you are these explorers or these scientists who just are on this island where all these extinct animals live, and you are trying to collect them or to score points. And it's very easy. You have 4 actions each round. 3 of them are simultaneously, so it goes really fluent, the game. So you have always 3 cards, and one you can choose for resources, one you can choose for a special ability you can get, and the other one is to score points depending on which creatures you have. And then you have to put your kind of area control-ish, put your workers on the island. Really good game, really fun, plays really fast, really smooth, and it's my number 50, La Isla. My number 49 is one of the 3 games in this list I do not own. Why? Well, I'm not sure. Somehow I didn't buy it yet, so it could be that it will still get into my collection later. And the game I'm talking about is 5 Tribes. Now, 5 Tribes is a great game. It uses this kind of Mancala mechanism in which you have all these tiles, and on these tiles you have these people or these meeples, which, well, should be tribe members of different kinds of tribes. And each time you do an action, you take all the meeples from one spot and you are going to move them to the next spot, and at each place you leave one man behind, and the place where you end your movement, that triggers a special ability of the tile and maybe of your tribe as well, if you collect certain sets of a number of meeples from the same color. Really interesting mechanism. The less great part of it is it then can be AP prone as effect, because well, you have this board with all these possibilities, you can see the possibilities, but the chance, especially with more players, is kind of big that when it's your turn again, the board has changed completely and you have to think about the most the most perfect step to do, and that might take some while. So that's the down part of it, but the rest of it is just awesome. It looks great, it looks really colorful with all the different colors of meeples, and well, I really like it, and that's 5 tribes. My number 48, and it came from number 63, so it raised a little bit, and that is Legacy Testament of Duke de Crécy. And this is a game by Michael Hendricks, of Michiel Hendricks actually. Most people will say Michael, because it's a Dutch person, it's Michiel. And in this game, well, you're trying to make your family tree. And see, well, you have these patrons, you have your ancestors, and you are making this great family in different steps. And just the game, what makes this game is the theme, of course. This is just a really unique theme, making your, see what's your legacy and trying to have the most powerful or most influential family. It's just great. There's lots of humor in it as well, and especially if you get the new expansion, the Five Families expansion, in which you can try to get your family members into other people's families, and well, a little bit of bargaining, a little bit of smooth talks. Really nice expansion for it. It raised the bar for this as well. So that's my number 48, Legacy Testament of Duke de Crécy. My next game is the second one I don't have in my own collection, and that is Legendary Marvel. Now, Legendary Marvel was number 73 last year, and mostly because I didn't own it anymore. But I've been thinking about it, and actually I really like the system of this game, the deck building you have, in which you are trying to get great superheroes in your deck, and you try to fight these villains and their henchmen, and well, try to defeat the villain a few times before completely winning the game, or before the villain gets his scheme done, because there are several schemes in the game which the villains might try to pursue, and if they do, you lose the game. It is a competitive deck building game, meaning at the end you score points for each card you defeated and such things, but you can play it cooperatively if you like. I don't like that point thing, to be honest, because it doesn't add too much to the game. There have been lots of expansions. I haven't played any of them because I don't own the game anymore, but if I ever get a chance to get myself a copy again, I might try this again, because I really like this game, and of course the Marvel team is really popular at this moment, also for me, as you can see. So that's my number 47, Legendary Marvel. My number 46, last year it was number 13. I know, that's a big drop, 33 places, but it's still there in the top 50. And I'm talking about Samurai Spirit by Antoine Bauza, a great designer, of course. This is also a cooperative game in which you are trying to defend this small village against raiders with your samurai people who have also special powers. It's a really, really simple game, but I still like it very much. It's easy to explain, it's easy to play. Plays great solo or with 2 players, but you can also play it. It goes to 8 people, I guess, if I'm not mistaken. Where's the box? Let's check it out. I have no clue, it doesn't say so, but I think it went to 8 players. Now, this is a great game. It's one that has flown, whatever, my English not always that great, under the radar a little bit. I think it deserves a little bit more attention as it does now, and it really deserves to be in my top 50 Samurai Spirit of well, Funforge games. Really check it out if you can. I really like this one. Number 45 dropped 11 spaces, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was number 34 last year, but it is still one of my favorite gateway games, and it's called Takenoko. And well, really coincidence, but it's also by Antoine Bauza, as was Samurai Spirit. In this game, you are controlling. It's kind of a worker placement game. Each round you have 2 actions in which you are trying to grow bamboo, so in order you can feed a panda, and you try to make patterns in the garden as well in colors. And it's especially the look of it is just awesome, with the bamboo, with the small panda bear included and a small gardener. There is also an expansion since recently, which adds a female panda, and you can have small pandas as well. I haven't played that one yet, so I cannot say anything about that. But this one is one of my favorite games to get new gamers into the hobby, because it plays so smoothly and it just looks gorgeous on the table. I have the normal version. If you're really a freak or you have money enough, you can get the deluxe version, which adds large pandas, large tiles, large bamboo, and which is even more awesome to look at on the table. But my number 45, Takenoko by Antoine Bauza, and in my version is from Madagot Games. My number 44 is a special one because it raised so much since last year. It was my number, well, get hold of yourself, 140 last year, and I had a list of 180, I think, so it was very low. Now it's at 44, so it raised 96 places, and I'm talking about Narushima Hex, and this is the 3.0 version of Portal Games, and designer Michael Orich. And well, last year it just didn't grab me. I've played it once or twice, also on the iPad. There's a great app for it as well, and I couldn't get into the game until I really got to know this game because I had to demo it, and then I realized how great this game actually is. So it's a 2 to 4 player game, but I believe it plays best with 2 players, in which each player has this faction in this post-apocalyptic world, and well, you're trying to fight it. It's quite abstract, and I don't like abstract games as well, but each round you get 3 tiles, you discard 1 that you cannot use, and you can play 1 or 2 or 0 of the 2 others, and there you can place units, you can move units on the board, you can do these special actions, etc, etc, and you can also activate a battle, and if a battle activates, you're just going to see what units are the fastest, so they act first, and step by step each unit will have acted. If they didn't die before, they can act, and then the board looks completely different, and the main goal is to destroy your enemy's base. Really great game. The base game comes with 4 factions, but there are plenty more factions already that came out in the years. So if you want a game with a great team, great replayability, and a little bit of a chess-like feeling, but not too abstract, then Narushima Hex is a great one to try out. My number 43 is a new game in this list, because it just was released this year. It is a remake of a previous released game somewhere in the past called Cloud 9, I think. don't. I'm not sure. I don't think it's called like something like that. I'm talking about Celestia anyway. It's a game by Aaron Weisblum, and well, I must say it really surprised me because I just bought it because it looked just awesome. Because there is, well, let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna show you this because it is just gorgeous. In the game, you have this awesome ship with even the rotating thing here, and you have just all these things with just beautiful, gorgeous artwork as well. And in this game, it's from 2 to 4 players. You are, well, it's a push your luck game, so you are trying to get as far as you can, different cities in the sky, and each time you enter a city, there's one captain, and the captain will roll dice with certain symbols on it. And well, he has to play cards with those matching symbols, and if he can't play them, the ship will go down and all the players still in the ship will crash to death. And so after he rolled the dice, he just asks everyone, are you staying in the ship or are you leaving the ship? If he leaves the ship, then he gets a card with points from that city, but of course the next city has cards with even more points on them. So if you stay in the ship, you see if the captain can play the cards he has to play. If he can, great. Players proceed to the next city. If he can't, players crash and they get nothing. There are some special power cards as well, in which you can still escape a crashing ship. But that's the game. Really easy, really fun, really beautiful, and really good with 6 players. Awesome game. Celestia. My number 42 is also a brand new game from this year. It's one I kickstarted. Now, most of my kickstarted games aren't too successful. I like a lot of them, but I mostly don't love them. So I've been backing a lot less games than I used to because it's a risk. It's certainly a risk. But this one I'm really happy I backed, and I'm talking about Burger Bros or Burger Brothers, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. It's a game by Tim Fowers. If I'm not mistaken, he's famous for his paperback game, which is also a Kickstarter that many people like. I haven't got that game because it's for English language, the cards, so it's not to play in Dutch, but that's something else. So Burglar Bros is my number, let's see, 42, and in this game players are cooperatively trying to get 3 safes looted in this building, in a bank building or whatever. And well, it's just plain easy. I did a playthrough for this, by the way, which wasn't really good. I have talked about that in my last episode of All Aboard. But still, this game is really awesome. Each player has a personality with one special ability, and each round you have a few action points, and you can move. You can look to the next room to see what's there. Try not to trigger any alarms. There are on each floor there's a guard roaming around. You know where he's heading, so you have to avoid the guard, which gets faster when there's an alarm going on, and so on and so on. This game, you will notice this game, Forbidden Desert, is not in this list because at this moment this replaced the Forbidden Desert game by Matt Leacock, which is a really highly regarded game, also by me. But this team just does more for me. The Burger team, the cool artwork in this game, it's really special artwork as well. So if you can try this out, if you know someone who has this game or whatever, just try this out because it's a really fun, really thematic game. Burglar Bros, my number 42. My number 41, and immediately the last game in this part of my list, is a game that dropped 22 places. It was number 15 last year, so it dropped 26 places. I'm wrong. So 26 places lower. I still like the game, but there are so many games that just get played more often, and well, have the same theme, so you will notice that maybe later, spoiler alert. But I'm talking about Pandemic: The Cure, which is actually this little brother or sister of Pandemic, the base game, the normal game. This is a dice version of it, in which you have, well, the continents, which have diseases on them, which are represented by dice. In each round you also roll dice of your own with certain action pictures on them, so you try to cure the diseases, you try to eradicate diseases, you can move, you can fly over to places where you need to be, you have some special actions as well, if you play your personality. Really hard to win this game. I think I've won it just a few times on the easy mode. I haven't tried the harder levels yet, because basic version is already hard enough for us at this moment. It is a dice game, so you have to realize that there's luck involved, and especially bad luck involved, but it plays really fast. So that's the cool thing about this. In comparison to the normal Pandemic game, you can get this played in 20 or 30 minutes. So it's actually kind of a filler, which I really like, really excited. And if you win a game, you're really happy that you managed to do so. So my number 41, Pandemic: The Cure. So that is all for this list for my number 50 until 41. In my next video I will be doing the next 10, so I will be going from 40 to 31. It's well, I can spoil you that there are lots of new games in that part of the list, because it was a good year 2015. And well, if you want to know which games I like even more than these 10 I just showed you, then I invite you to watch my next video as soon as it will be online. I thank you for watching this one. I hope you liked it. I just want to know how much or how little you like the games that I just talked about. So you can always leave a comment below here in the comment section. And if you like, you can also come to me on Twitter. You can find me there. I'm at Vitruvian Gamer. I'm quite active there, but of course, if you talk to me there, I might be even more active, and I like it. So I really love doing that. Thanks for watching, and I see you all in the future for 40 to 33. Bye bye.